Yo, what's going on, people? It's me, Travis, presenting another game for a practice match for the JTI coming up this May 4th. The hottest, most anticipated gaming event, StarCraft gaming event that's happening this side of North Texas. So again, we have two competitors, GreenCarpet, and also another competitor down here in the bottom left. You know him, you love him. His name is Baby Papershoes, and he's playing the Zerg. Now, these people, let me put up the stats here so we can all see the APMs up here in the top right corner. These people are bitter rivals. They have been playing this for at least a month and a half now, maybe just a month, but they're getting their rotations down here. They're getting their what am I trying to say here? They're getting their gameplay down. So you can see again that Papershoes is scouting in the northern direction. That's not going to be the exact location where GreenCarpet is going to be located. You can see that GreenCarpet is also scouting in that direction as well with his probe. He's going to get up here, get in the base, see that Papershoes is not down, and he's going to go scout in another direction. He's going to send another probe to the south, see if Papershoes is down in the southern area, while he's building a gateway. So the second scouting probe always comes out of his base, builds a second gateway, and then scouts down here in the southern corner. We can see that a drone is going to come down for Papershoes. This is good because GreenCarpet has not currently scouted this. So GreenCarpet's probe was not able to block this drone from actually popping down the hatchery like we saw in the previous game. The probe always wants to at least try to harass that drone from becoming a beautiful baby hatchery. So guys, not much is going to be going on in this first part. So what I'm going to do is, kind of introduce why these competitors are playing the way they are. So Papershoes is wanting to beat a Protoss nemesis. And that's what GreenCarpet is trying to do for him. He's trying to assist him in becoming the champ of the JTI. And what I'm doing here is practicing my casting ability, because when the JTI hits, guess who's going to be casting this on Twitch? It's going to be me. So I need to practice and make sure that I'm actually good at casting. I'm not the best right now, so there needs to be a little practice that's going on. So GreenCarpet's got a zealot coming down here, and he's going to definitely try to harass this expansion of Papershoes. Papershoes has the expansion currently up right now. This probe is going to see what's happening in the base. He sees that the spawning pool hasn't been built yet, so this is good news for him. As the zealot comes in, he's going to start knocking on this expansion, taking it down low. We'll see if this expansion goes down early in the game. It is a known fact that Papershoes has been harassed to the extreme on these natural expansions. He hates it. He doesn't like it at all. This drone right here wants to become a creep colony, but he's not going to be able to get that down. There's 6 Zerglings in production here. That's enough to take down a probe and a zealot. So we'll see what happens. This Zergling needs to get away. He's kind of blocking his ramp here, but I mean, this is pretty much it. There's one more zealot in production, but it's not really a huge harass. It looks like GreenCarpet is just going to immediately go into 2 more gateways. That's 3 total gateways here, and he's just satisfied with just the ling production that has come out of Papershoes. He's built probably like 8 lings, and that's pretty good. And he's also built a sunken colony. So that's a lot of minerals that GreenCarpet has been able to get Papershoes to dump into the Zergling. These Zerglings could prove to be difficult for GreenCarpet to deal with if he doesn't get these photon cannons down in time. The Zerglings might be able to run past him. They might be able to get into the main base and harass these pros. But it looks like there's a pretty decent wall off going here. 2 zealots guarding the ramp. I think a Zergling can slip in here, so maybe a zealot needs to pop over here and guard this place. I think maybe that's what that zealot's intended for. A probe is here for GreenCarpet to scout if the Zerglings are going to come and attack the base. But I think what Papershoes is satisfied with doing right now is just kind of, building his Hydralisk in. and also just droning up, getting this natural base saturated with enough probes so he can whip out those Hydralisks. The Zerglings are on the march now. They did take out that probe, so GreenCarpet does know that this is coming. He does have the Zealots here, perfectly positioned to where the Zerglings can't run past and harass, I think. We'll see, though. We'll see what Papershoes has in store. Maybe there's an opening that GreenCarpet has not found yet. These Zerglings are on the march. They're thinking about just coming in here. It looks like they cannot get in because of the Zealot block here. So I think what Papershoes is going to do is he's going to leave his Zerglings out here just to make sure that it's kind of like that scouting probe that GreenCarpet had. So the Zealots and the Dragoons are going to move out. Papershoes needs to back out of this fight. He is definitely going to lose this fight. Zerglings versus this many Dragoons and this many Zealots is not a good battle. So he lost all those Zerglings. He should have ran them back. There are some Hydralisks coming out, but you know, there's only about 6. Is that enough to actually take down this Dragoon Zealot army? We're about to see these two armies collide in the middle of the map, and it's going to be, oh, look at that. Papershoes right click. There's a few free hits that this Dragoon got on these Zealots and these Dragoons. So there's about 6 Hydralisks. I don't think that's enough to take on this army. Back at GreenCarpet's main base, he has produced a Citadel of Doom and Dark Templar. He has not quite upgraded to Swarm, probably, or to Psionic Storm, because he's dumped 400 minerals into an expansion. And that's pretty good. He needs to keep up with this with these bases that. So Papershoes is pulling out with his Hydras. That's a pretty big Hydra army. Definitely enough to take down these Zealots and these Dragoons. So what GreenCarpet's doing is he's going to pull back, probably all the way back to his base, to the safety of these other Dragoons and these Photon Cannons. And right now, Papershoes has established map control over Fighting Spirit, ladies and gentlemen. This Overlord is moving out maybe for some site detection, which is a good idea because, like I said, there is a Templar Archive coming out. So if there are Dark Templar on the field, it could spell trouble for these Hydralisks. I think it only takes about 2 whacks from a Dark Templar to take down 1 Hydralisk. So, well, that's a lot of Hydras right there. That is a lot of Hydras. We'll see. Let's see exactly. No upgrades yet, but any upgrades over here? I don't think there are any upgrades for GreenCarpet as well. GreenCarpet has pulled his troops over here. He might be wanting to get a surround going. He has some High Templars. Some of them have enough energy to utilize Swarm. So we'll see what GreenCarpet does right here. He's going to pull his Dragoons and his Zealots over here, flank from the side. And this High Templar is going to try to get a storm onto these Hydralisks. That was a beautiful storm. It didn't quite kill any Hydralisks, but look at them. Most of them are all in yellow or in red. So that's really freaking good for GreenCarpet. That's going to force those Hydralisks back. But what Papershoes is doing is exactly what he needs to right now. He attacked with his Hydralisks and at the same time expanded to a second natural expansion. It looks like GreenCarpet is confident enough to attack these weakened Hydralisks. That was a really bad right click on GreenCarpet's part. He went into the Hydralisk army by right-clicking instead of A-clicking. So what happened was these Hydralisks took down a Dragoon for free, popped a Zealot down to about half health, and then made GreenCarpet retreat. The High Templar did not go with him. All these High Templar do have enough Storm, or these 2 High Templar have enough Storm right here, but this one is still recharging his energy. I don't think GreenCarpet has scouted the second natural from Papershoes, so that's a good thing for Papershoes. He's all about it, baby. He's in it. He's in it right now. He's doing very good work. No upgrades currently. We could see Overlord speed being evolved for Papershoes, and we could also see 2 more gateways being produced by GreenCarpet. He really wants to start whipping out these Dragoons and Zealots. I'm not sure what the plan is for Papershoes. I'm not sure why he's pulling his Hydralisks over here. Maybe he's trying to do the same thing that GreenCarpet did, is kind of flank, have a flanking army that once GreenCarpet gets into the natural area, maybe these Hydralisks come from the back and flank, or maybe they come and pick off the slow moving High Templar. I'm not sure if that's the strategy, but if that is, that's a It's a pretty darn good strategy. We'll see what these Hydralisks do. It looks like they're trying to flank around to guard their natural expansion here. The Dragoons are kind of doing, they're taking unnecessary hits. These Zealots need to be in the front to tank this damage. That is a beautiful storm with some of these. Oh, the High Templar are actually storming themselves. Look at that. But look at that. So these Hydralisks are pretty much full health. They take down that High Templar. That is really, really freaking good for Papershoes. But what Papershoes needs to build is exactly right here. He needs to start building a macro hatchery, maybe even 2 more macro hatcheries up here, because he has enough. He has enough minerals. Definitely, that's only 600 minerals. And once he has more macro hatchery, that's enough to create more drones. That's enough to produce more larvae, and more larvae. You know what that means, guys? That means more freaking units. And that's exactly what the Zerg need. They need units after units after units. Because what's going to happen is these High Templars are going to, it's almost guaranteed, unless you have the most Protoss juking skills, these High Templars are going to take down your Hydralisks. No problem. But if you keep flooding Hydralisks in, what you're trying to do is you're trying to outlast this Psionic Storm. At least from a non-professional level. Professionals probably can juke. They can probably pick off High Templars a lot easier than these amateurs, GreenCarpet and Papershoes. But for Papershoes' sake, he needs to have more hatcheries producing more Hydralisks, flooding them in. Because what's going to happen is these High Templars are eventually going to run out of storm. And these Hydralisks are going to be able to break into the front of GreenCarpet's natural expansion, and that's going to be devastating. That's almost game-changing right there. These Dragoons are going to come in. They feel like they're confident enough, and I believe they should be, because they are in a large numbers, especially backed up with this High Templar who has a Psionic Storm. A Psionic Storm catching about 25% of the army. Not a bad Psionic Storm, but not good either. It's pretty average. Caught what it needed to catch. I don't think this has been scouted out, and it looks like Papershoes is doing exactly what he needs to do for this base. Create sunken colony defenses. These two guys right here need to turn into a sunken colony. That's going to be very, very great base defense. 3 drones popping up. It's going to be he needs to get this second natural nice and saturated. Oh, look at this. Look at this flank that GreenCarpet is doing. I'm not sure if this is a mistake. Probably a mistake on GreenCarpet's part. But if he can get these Dragoons and these Zealots up here against these Hydralisks and kind of sandwich it in, that's going to be pretty good. Papershoes does not want to lose this army. He does not want to lose any Hydras. If he look at this. This is really bad. He's going to lose this entire Hydralisk army. He should just turn around and attack. Look how low these Hydralisks have gotten. Keep in mind, no one has upgraded their units yet. Everyone's on 0 upgrades, but this is exactly what these macro hatches are intended to do. Look at how many. Look at the amount of Hydralisks that Papershoes can produce. Just imagine if he had 2 more hatcheries spitting out larvae. It would be too much for the Protoss army to handle, even with Storm. So I think that's what Papershoes needs to do. He has 1,500 minerals. That is definitely enough to produce those extra hatcheries. But it does take a lot of micro to move your Hydralisks around. So while these amateurs are moving their units around, they're foregoing their macro, their economy. Oh, this Zealot does scout that there is a second natural for Papershoes up here. So what I believe GreenCarpet is doing is trying to wall him off, trying to keep this army from pushing in to harass GreenCarpet's natural base. Look how much money GreenCarpet has. That is a ridiculous amount. He actually probably needs to build just more of everything. He needs to build more gateways. He needs to build maybe even two expansions, maybe one here. It looks like he has 2 probes here. So maybe that's what he's intending to do. Maybe his macro his macro has fallen because he's doing all this micro. These Zealots are coming in here, picking off these Hydralisks. They're so susceptible to Storm. It's ridiculous. There goes a High Templar. He goes down, but not before he lets out a pretty epic Storm. So he's going to rest in Valhalla, knowing that he took down at least probably 4 or 5 Hydralisks. 1 High Templar for 4 or 5 Hydralisks. That's just called value, baby. And that High Templar probably stormed before that fight. So there's just so much value in those High Templars if they can get kills. This one doesn't have any kills. But look at this Dragoon. What a freaking champion. 5 kills on that guy. How many on the 7 kills on that guy? This Dragoon, hey, he needs to pick up the pace. This is Sergeant Dragoon. He's pathetic. And he's gonna go down. That's what Sergeant Dragoon does. Look how devastating that storm is. 8 kills. This is the new general. This is your new captain right here. Alright? You guys need to bow down to this guy. That's what needs to happen. Look at these Hydras. Catching these units. Oh my god, but these units are so strong against these Hydras. I think they might actually win. Look at that. I don't know what this Dragoon's doing. He's backing up. But it looks like the army that was defending or containing Papershoes' Hydralisks has actually moved back, maybe trying to attack this natural expansion. However, it's going to be a very, very difficult time. You can see there's only 4 Zealots, 2 Dragoons, and only a handful of Dragoons and Zealots up here. So I still don't think you can break this line without maybe a Reaver or some kind of other... Oh, look at this. Look at this. 4 Stargates and a Fleet Beacon. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to go carriers, but not before we're going to get some harass with the shuttle. Maybe coming in... Oh, there we go. Sorry, I missed that, ladies and gents, but it looks like a Reaver's coming down here and popping some drones. It doesn't look like the shuttle can go in any longer to harass because these Hydralisks will be able to take it down. I think 3 Hydralisks is maybe enough to take down a shuttle and a Reaver. The Reaver might be able to destroy these Hydralisks, but there's 2 other Hydralisks here. Probably not worth it at this point. But he might be able to plop down here and kind of shell at the sunken colonies, get those open and ready to go. What else is happening right now? It looks like the Zerg army has 1-1 upgrades, while the Protoss has 1-0-0. The Protoss is able to upgrade their armor and shields, plus they're able to get their weapons upgraded as well. So I think this is a really bad fight. It's 3 Zealots, 2 Dragoons, and 1 High Templar versus a handful of Hydralisks. That was an amazing juke by Papershoes. Juking 2 storms. All these Hydralisks are at full health except for maybe 1. And I don't think this army is big enough to actually take on this Hydralisk fleet. So Papershoes is doing exactly what he needs to, building up a giant Hydralisk army and then attacking into GreenCarpet. You can see the supply count is 58 to 76 or 58 to 121. Oh, that was a pretty storm. All these Hydralisks are going to go down. Look how low. A lot of these Hydralisks are really low, but Papershoes does still have some healthy numbers. There goes a High Templar, 50 gas, 150 gas, 50 minerals. Those guys are expensive mineral-wise, or gas-wise, but GreenCarpet does have enough gas, does have enough minerals to actually sustain for a little bit. These Dragoons are trying to get back to the safety of their photon cannons. They actually have enough, I believe, in my opinion, to actually go in and attack the Zerg army. We have a few Zerg down here chilling. I believe what GreenCarpet needs to do is take this shuttle with this Reaver and actually come back and reinforce this army, because Hydralisks are so susceptible to dying to storm and also scourge shots. Those 2 things specifically. GreenCarpet has built a second natural here. He needs to get it saturated. You can see that his main is almost mined out. You can see that his natural is probably almost becoming mined out. Only a few more minerals available. So he needs to ferry some troops down here because he is going to have to fund this giant carrier army. He should be actually building more carriers than this. He does have the mineral to do so. Carriers are, if I remember, about 375, maybe 250 gas, so they are pretty expensive. Not to mention that they have to keep building interceptors as well, and each interceptor is 25 minerals, and you can build about, I don't know, about 8 interceptors maybe. Maybe a little bit less than that, maybe 6 interceptors. So, like I said, guys, you do the math on that. You guys are the math experts. It looks like we got some probes funneling down to this expansion here. Papershoes' Hydralisk army is looking exquisite, beautiful, very plump. He doesn't have really any Hydralisk being built right now. He does have Hydralisk guarding his main base. None guarding is natural from any drops. We have a Stray Dragoon here. That's bad macro. Oh, is this Reaver going to go down? This shuttle might go down right here with this Reaver in it. So Papershoes has some drones just sitting around. He needs a Vespi. He needs a Vespian Geyser here. But here's a big fight going down. There's some beautiful storms. Just gorgeous storms onto these Hydras. This is the bane of Papershoes' existence, these storms. They are so difficult for him to deal with. I'm not sure why GreenCarpet is clumping up back here. I think he has enough troops to actually take down the small Hydra fleet. Maybe he just wants to use it for storms. But those Hydralisks just melt. And that is why, like I said before, ladies and gentlemen, Papershoes needs more macro hatches. 1, 2, 3 more macro hatches up here, just pumping out Hydralisks. Because, like I said, there's not going to be enough. There's not going to be enough storms to kill an onslaught of flooding in Hydralisks. He even needs to build maybe even a third natural up here, where it's properly defended. And he might be actually doing that. He might be reading my mind, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see what he does. All right, Papershoes, what you got, baby? What you doing? And there he goes, ladies and gents, another natural. But we got carriers, 6 of them. This is going to be tough stuff. I don't think Papershoes has scouted this. Let's take a look to see what Papershoes has seen thus far, shall we? Well, we know that he's seen more than that. It's possible that StarCrafting Master doesn't have what the other people have seen thus far. So I'm pretty sure he's at least seen this area. He's been here several times. But we do have a plethora of carriers. We have, what is that, 7 carriers now? Still 6 carriers, but we have 2 more on the way. We got a little probe doing a dance here, shimmying because he's so happy that these carriers are out on the field. Does Papershoes have enough to defend a carrier onslaught? Oh, he doesn't want this Hydralisk to see, he wants the element of surprise. This Dragoon does do his job, scares this Hydralisk away from the carrier army. This carrier army is going to the second natural expansion of Papershoes because it's closer. It's the closest expansion that he can get to. The shuttle is still sitting with this Reaver over here. Papershoes is producing 6 more Hydras. He's doing a fantastic job, but I don't know if it's going to be enough because, there's not many Hydralisks on the field, even though Papershoes can technically build a ton more Hydras. He only has 69 supply, so there's not really a lot. He needs to build more Overlords because he's almost maxed out on supply. Here's the carriers. They finally arrived in the second natural of Papershoes. Look at this. We're going to have a Reaver drop here. We'll see if this Reaver can actually do any type of work. He does take down 1 Hydralisk, 3 Hydralisks, and he's probably going to die right here. That Reaver shot's going to come and do nothing. It's a dud. Sometimes those Reavers shoot out duds. It's like chickens. Sometimes you have a chicken coop, and sometimes they're laying rotten eggs. They're not always going to be great eggs. They're going to be stinky, rotten, and sometimes that's what the scarabs are for those Reavers. They produce rotten. Where are these carriers going? I don't know. They just stopped attacking. Maybe that was poor micro on the part of GreenCarpet. These Hylers just are chilling. I don't even know if they know what they're doing right now. I don't know if Papershoes has an answer to this, really. He doesn't have a Dark Swarm. That would be a fantastic answer to carriers. Not much they could do against Dark Swarm. If you put some Hydralisks under the Dark Swarm, carriers can't hit them. These interceptors aren't going to be able to do anything. It looks like Papershoes is going to do one last push into GreenCarpet's base. But, I don't think it's enough. These carriers are moving down to the main base of Papershoes. We'll see if Papershoes can maybe it's a base race that we have here. But we have High Templar, we have Dark Templar, and I don't see any Overlords. We have 2 Overlords. That's very good on Papershoes' part because he's going to need those for those High Templar or those Dark Templar right here. We'll see what happens. We have a lot of Hydras trying to break into this main base of GreenCarpet. There's a beautiful storm onto the Hydralisk. Another decent storm on the Hydralisk over here. These Dark Templars are doing a lot of work. Like I said before, only 2 hits from these Dark Templars takes out a Hydralisk. And I don't know if there's anything that Papershoes can do to stop this. His third natural is getting harassed by carriers. and he's trying to produce more Hydralisks, but like I said, I just don't think it's enough at this point. I think Papershoes is actually going to tap out of this game. But he did do a great job. I think he just needs to build a little bit more macro hatches just to produce a ton of Hydralisks. Upgrade this guy to a high so it can get out those Defilers, so he can get Dark Swarm going. Dark Swarm is just such a good spell, and I know that Papershoes says this a lot, but he doesn't want to upgrade Consume, but I think it's a vital part of getting out Defilers. It's essentially infinite Dark Swarm, infinite push potential, and that negates the carriers, that negates the Dragoons, doesn't negate the Zealots, High Templar, or Dark Templar, but it's still very, very effective against carriers, one, and Dragoons, which a Protoss army is almost always going to go, unless they're going Archons and Zealots, but it's still very good. He can go Plague, Consume, Plague, Dark Swarm, all that is amazing. So thank you for joining me, guys. It was a very great game between these two, GreenCarpet and Papershoes, rivals to the end. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm going to be doing a little bit more of these reviews just to practice until I get to the JTI. Thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. Take it easy.